So I wanted to share a couple of things that I definitely noticed that definitely has aided me in terms of recovery and in terms of just feeling a little bit better. I will say of all the providers, of all the modalities that I've tried for the past 18 months, I can definitely know now like what does really truly aid and what really doesn't aid. I will say this though, that regardless of your journey, if you believe that a modality will help you and it does aid you, even if it's just a half of a percentage, and it aids you in just keeping you sane and going through the process of this recovery journey, do it. Because even feeling 1% better is worth it to me. Um, there are other things that are very costly that require a lot of time and effort, and then you just have to kind of really measure the effects versus the risk and rewards, um, whether or not it's going to be really good for your return on investment if you want to participate on those. Some of the things that I did try, and I will say they're very, very costly, and at the time they did provide some sort of level of relief, but as time went on, I kind of really determined that the ROI wasn't there for me. Was really acupuncture, um, biofeedback, any type of massage, um, whether it be sacral in nature or uh, Reiki in nature, any type of modular massage. Um, I I honestly don't think I saw very many benefits from that. Did it help with anxiety? Did it help with just feeling heard? Of course. But other than that, it really didn't really give me any type of true relief in terms of actual symptoms. I will say that the tried and true modalities that I still go back to are VRT. And I've had several providers now, and you get used to which modalities work best for you. And like anything else, who works best for you as well. It's definitely a team tag approach, and so you have to have that person that really knows how you really work and have a really good open dialogue with them on what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. um, I think having just different perspectives is very useful. Even though I did see one of my therapists for almost a year, I would say that after a year, I really wanted something different, and so I did branch out to other providers, and I did learn quite a lot more. And so even though it was a great provider, I did learn more, and so I wanted to branch out. So one thing is not being afraid of branching out and seeing other providers as well. Just because it's working doesn't mean that somebody else won't give you kind of a boost to another level. So VRT for sure, I would highly recommend. Um, Even with vestibular migraines, you would think that it wouldn't aid that much, but I would say it does. It really does desensitize you to having to go out in the real world. I don't have any issues in the stores. I don't have any issues driving. I don't have any issues with crowded people. There are very few instances where vision dizziness is being triggered by an outside factor. And I think VRT has been definitely one of those things that have aided with that. Another thing that really has aided me is just mindfulness in general. Obviously, I have had the opportunity and the route to go and really rely on my religion and my church and my belief system and that support. For me, I make prayer a priority, and meditation a priority. But that looks so different in everybody, and you have to make it your own. But mindfulness in general, I would just highly recommend it. Look into what works for you. I am not the person to sit still. I just don't like to, I'm not gonna be the one that, turns like a sound on, or says like a chant over and over again, or something like that. I personally don't feel that I gain very much from it, and my brain doesn't. Actually, it kind of goes into overdrive when I do that. But I have found mindfulness in prayer. I have found mindfulness in nature. I've definitely have gone back to just normal grounding techniques of walking through grass barefoot, just staring at the grass, at flowers, at birds, and wildlife has been definitely very healing for me. So, certain things that I wanted to share in terms of what has aided the most. I also really, I think a lot has to do with just mental therapy in general. I am no longer very actively seeing a therapist. I am more periodically seeing a therapist, and it's because I think as I recover, obviously that fear kind of goes away, but there's nothing more to really add, which is good. I've learned a lot from different techniques. CBT in particular has been very helpful, and actually some of that practice I continue to practice even on my own day-to-day activities, so that has been very helpful. I will say doom scrolling, even support groups, even YouTube videos, even success stories on the vestibular community are actually sometimes, to me, a trigger. And I will say I definitely have in the past 6 months decided to shut that down. I actually disabled a lot of my apps. Reddit was one. I definitely shut that off. I just didn't want to read anymore. There is no such thing, no magic pill that will make a difference. And if there is, I probably will hear it on the news. And then also I deactivated my news, so I probably wouldn't hear it anyway. But it's just I really needed a mental clarity of everything, and I disabled all my social media. I actually took it all from my phone, so I have to actually go into like a computer and like go in and like put my password in, which I typically always forget. I didn't write down my passwords to any of those, so I actually have to reset my password most of the time. I read a lot more than I did before. I don't scroll on my phone at all. I am present every day, so mindfulness has been a really, really big thing going forward in my life. I will say, in terms of nutrition, supplementation, I know I've talked before about functional medicine. I have changed providers a couple times as well. I'm now more focused on the hormonal aspect of functional medicine, but also still on the nutrition side because it's correlating. And so nutrition has been a great thing for me, and it's not about looking a certain way. It's not about seeing yourself in a different light. It's literally nutrient and nutritioning your body, so that it just heals better. So definitely nutrition is one thing to really look at. It has really worked for me. And really, in terms of like going somewhere to get some sort of relief, really what I'm really doing is trying to cut most of my provider visits. I feel like the more I think about dizziness, the more dizzy I am. And so, one thing that I would, if you're having a really hard time, I will recommend like to go out and like really read the Victory Over Migraine book by Dr. Bay. There's the Study Coach on YouTube. She's been really great. I actually was part of one of the cohort groups. She was really great into my recovery as well. It just gave me a different angle to really look at things. And I would say the now that I am where I am, the less I associate things with my dizziness, the better it is for my brain. And I think that's the neuroplasticity there, because the more I bring it up, then the more dizzy I am. So I would say definitely doing that. And then another thing is just being busy. Not overly busy, not busy just to be busy, but just productively busy makes a huge difference. I see and I really do notice that the days that I am at home not doing anything, or that I don't have any project work in terms of projection of what I'm going to do that day, I feel more sick. And so I try not to sit on the couch for very long. I try not to watch TV for very long. I try, if I'm going to be doing something, I try to be somewhat productive. And I try to do it outside of my home. I think with dizziness and neuroplasticity, everything that you try to do, it's with the motion of your body. So again, anything that is in motion stays in motion. And so I think that has really been helpful. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't, be honest if I wouldn't say that pharmaceuticals are not a big thing. I for sure know that what I'm drinking and what I'm still participating in terms of that recovery, in terms of the pills that I take and the medication I'm on, have a huge impact in my mood and my symptoms. And so having that provider to really understand me and really get me to that path of what pharmaceuticals I need to be on, getting that provider to really understand my nutrition and what nutritional needs I have and get me under the path, as long as with supplementation. I think it's all multifactorial, which I hated that word before because I felt like you're not really telling me what's wrong with me, but it really is a full mind and body recovery, and it just takes a while. So where am I in terms of what I'm doing? So that's really what I'm doing. Just VRT, intermittent, periodic, mental therapy, mindfulness every day, and then just being active. Really, that's really what I'm doing now. I'm just living life. I am still kind of dabbing here and there on certain things, and I sometimes do get a little bit impatient on where I'm going to be in 6 months, but that's in 6 months. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, so we'll worry about that when that comes. Tell me what you're doing. What's helping you in your recovery with vestibular issues or with long COVID? Let me know in the comments. Blessings.